In a world where like fast content and scrolling is so predominant and you really have to capture attentions, why do you think that thoughtful storytelling is still essential?
Well, I think, first of all, when you're trained as a journalist, you're trained it's about accuracy, it's about balance, it's about facts. So I think that's really important to gain the trust of the people that you are speaking with. And that's why thoughtful storytelling is important because, you know, people aren't silly. They see a clickbait story and you tap into it and you think this hasn't answered actually what the headline might have suggested or what I came here to find out. So I think thoughtful storytelling to me is bringing in all those other elements of truthfulness and balance and a more well-rounded look at a topic. And I think people get that. People see that and people see when it's not happening. So I think that's why that's important.
And I think it'll be interesting as well as the world of AI gets more, predominant and skilled and clever. It'll be interesting to see how people evolve to that because, people relate to people and AI can be a helpful tool. But yeah, it'll just be interesting to see how that unfolds.
Yeah. But I mean, it's remarkable how much AI can imitate people and empathy and all of those things too. So I think what we really need to be thinking about, especially for our children, is how do we teach critical thinking and how do we teach how algorithms work. If you're looking at a certain kind of content, then you're going to be fed more and more of that content and you won't know that the other content exists. And that's, I think, something that we need to be helping our children with from quite a young age.
Absolutely. I actually saw a post on LinkedIn yesterday that said that the number one way that AI is being used is for therapy and companionship.
Wow.
And to me, that says that people aren't getting that elsewhere.
Yeah.
And so they're having to turn to AI for that. And
yeah.
There's good sides as well to that because some people can't access therapy or, it's not affordable to some people. And so that could be also you have to think about where the AI is getting the information from and is it really trustworthy? But yeah, it's interesting times, isn't it?
That makes me sad because, loneliness, I think, is a big problem in our society. And there were some recent research around wellness, and I think it said that 4% of the population said in the last 2 weeks that they had felt, I think the words were chronically or consistently lonely. But 4% of the population is around 208,000 people. And that is a lot of people to be feeling lonely. And I think that we have moved to this kind of society where we've got on-demand media and we are consuming things in bubbles and we are not having such shared experiences anymore. And it's great that we can consume media that is, directly relates to the things we're interested in. But it just also emphasizes the importance of community and building communities through a podcast or through traditional media, through anything where you're building a group of people who are having a conversation and feel part of something. Because loneliness really is an issue and that's also, I think, why storytelling is important because storytelling is a vehicle in which we can connect people.
Yeah, totally. And that's one of the reasons why I really have a deep passion for podcasting as well, in particular, because it is like a one-to-one platform where you're speaking directly to the listener. It's very intimate. They're listening usually by themselves with headphones in or in the car or whatever. So you are really bringing yourself into their life. When I used to work at radio, it's very, very similar radio and podcasting. And we would always hear people texting in or emailing in saying, thank you so much for being with me. Like it's made me feel less lonely.
Yeah.
And because you are really talking to your audience, it really connects with people, which I think is beautiful.
Yeah, one of the greatest things whenever I'm working in radio or when I was on AM was having people write in about something that you had been talking about. One of the greatest things on School Shorts is I've had some teachers say, oh, we've been discussing the podcast at school and we're using it as a basis of discussion within our teacher group, or parents saying, I'm finding this really useful and I'm able to use these tips with my children at home. And those are the things that mean the most to me, is when you actually feel like you have connected directly with somebody who has got some value out of the content. That is what it's all about, actually. And I think if you're going into podcasting for any other reason, you're doing it for the wrong reason. It's about having a connection with the community that you're talking with, really.
Absolutely. Absolutely, 100% agree.